I think we might be live and we might have Steve on Facebook Live with us. Yay!
Time lucky.
What did you say, Steve? We got a bad connection now.
Oh, really? Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I think it was just a bit of a delay at the start, that was all.
Yeah, I think there's maybe a little bit of a delay.
So welcome everyone to our Facebook Live, our first one with one of our conference speakers.
Yay!
Hurrah! Steve Adair. It's great to have you with us today. Finally.
Yes, finally. Yeah.
Yeah. And it took 3 attempts.
If you haven't been watching today or you haven't seen, this is our 3rd attempt at trying to get the lovely Steve on the live broadcast with us. So, yeah, but we're really, really excited that you're going to come along to our conference in September and you're going to be one of our speakers. Yeah, it'll be great. It's just going to be great to hang out with you, Steve, because it's been way too long since I've seen you in the flesh and just spent some time with you. And it's going to be, I'm really excited to catch up with you. So do you want to share with people just a little snippet of what we kind of want to keep them, get everybody excited to come to the conference. So do you want to share with us some of the things that you've seen around the principles and what you might be, just a little taster of what you might be sharing with us?
Sure. You know, it's interesting because I, with this weather, it's an opportunity to get up really early and get on with life. And we have a little dog, so it's nice to get her out before the sun really kicks in. So I'm up the back of the fields, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then there's a very different feel, it seems, that life is kind of just waking up. It's as if the day is beginning to sweep in. And there's one bit where I walk, there's a hill where you can go up, and I just caught the sun. And it was like, oh my goodness, look at that. It wasn't full up in the sky yet, but look at how that knows what to do, how it naturally knows how to rise. And I had this thought, it's like, we don't stress, are we going to have the sun tomorrow? Is everything going to be okay tomorrow with the universe? We just trust that this world that we're in does what it does without even giving it any thinking. And that just really hit me very clear. It's like, that's our well-being, is that our well-being is constantly running, if you like, programs within our whole system, which is allowing us to get up in the morning and to rise and to go to sleep and then to wake up the next day. And it really put me in this, is like, God, knowing it's like, I'm really lucky to be alive kind of days. That was the kind of moment that it was just like, oh my God, to have that moment was incredible, regardless of what else was going on. Just to have that moment of saying that the same energy, it allows the sun to rise and to set. Me too, you too, and everyone listening and everyone coming to the conference. We all have this divine energy. It seems to allow us to flow naturally when we allow it to do its best in our day-to-day experience. So that's where I've seen even more. And how innocently we talk ourselves out of that by thinking, yeah, but that's just you, not me. Because I was one of them going back in the days that even though I was always a spiritual searcher and a seeker and want to be the best therapist, I always thought it was for other people. But the principles really gave me back to me. They really allowed me to see that if I see goodness in other people, it's because there's goodness within me. So that really put me in a different mindset. And really standing in that field today, it was like, you know, there's the innate wisdom of the whole universe in action. The sun coming up, the clouds or thoughts have gone. And I was just in that moment. And I quieted down. There was no chatter. There was not even any sound of nature. There was just a really quiet sound that I felt in that moment. And in that, I saw that when we naturally are in that state, which we always are by our thinking, there is so much more ease and grace available to us in that moment. And new resolutions, new ideas just seem to come out of nowhere. And the amount of thinking that we do to talk ourselves out of a situation just doesn't have that same ability. So I was really thankful of the sun today, just to be alive. And it's like, you know, I've got this other day to see where life is going to take me. I wasn't worried about the past or what's going to happen tomorrow. There was just that moment that I realized that's all we really have, is just the moment to be with ourselves and to see how we're showing up in that moment, regardless of what we think. So I love seeing the principles, that it's not that we have to learn the principles, we are the principles. And that's what that showed me this morning, was like I was completely fresh, as if it's the first time I'd ever seen the sun and that piece of land. I've walked that every day for 3 years. It's as if I'd never seen it before. It was like, oh my God, who put that there? It was like, well, actually, the universe always puts the sun there. But it was as if I was just seeing it. And it's what happened to me, not the sun, because other people could be walking about saying, oh, it's too hot, I don't like the sun, where just in that moment, everything just seemed to be A-okay. And I realized that we actually bathe more in those A-okay moments than what we give ourselves credit for. When we get so lost in the ruminated thinking, we think that's all there is, that we can't see the woods for the trees. But I've just seen that there's more spaces that we're gifted in between each of our thinking storms, or each thought that we have. And it's when that comes into our system, that same natural, neutral ability that we all have to be calm and at ease is available every single moment to us. And we don't have to go up the farmer's field to take the dog for a walk. We can be sitting at home, we could be anywhere, and our well-being is ready just to show us where we're at. So that's what I've been seeing. Constantly.
That is just beautiful, and that is perfect. Kind of sharing more of that in our conference will be perfect, because the conference is very much about how everybody has mental health within them, and we're never more than one thought away from seeing that ourselves and seeing it for ourselves. So that was lovely.
I love that, Debs, and that was one of the things that really got me interested in the principles. When I'd hear Sydney Banks say that no one is more holier or spiritual or enlightened than anybody else, I was like, okay, I like that, because there seemed to be hierarchy everywhere that you but this was, for me, I see that the principles are a level playing field. Life is a contact sport. It is a game that we seem to get lost in sometimes. But if I see that what was available to me in that moment, you too.
Yeah.
Everyone is listening. It's not just that because we're saying, well, we know the principles. I don't know these principles. Because in that moment, I realized that I just saw life new. And that's what they simply, to me, point out, that we're all naturally, it's our birthright to understand who we truly are every single moment. And when we start looking in that direction, we see that actually everything seems to have a divine order. Everything seems to have a flow. And when I'm not in my flow, where am I then? And the principles allow us to see that we're just in our personal identity, our personal thinking. And that has freed me up. My bandwidth of experience, instead of becoming Steve the Blinkered, has just got so wide and big. It's just like, okay, this fun fair that we live in is much more than what I ever thought it possibly could be. And I just love seeing that, and what you pointed out, that's true for every single person. It's not the chosen few, it's every single person, regardless of past experiences, whatever's happened in your life. You are gifted with these 3 spiritual gifts, which allow you to come from a neutral, calm, at ease, still, wisdom-led place.
Yeah, and what's coming to me as you're saying that is, for me, I was kind of like this, no good person who couldn't do anything. And yet in a moment of clarity, and what I did was decide to create this conference to kind of show what I've seen to anybody out there who's interested, who thinks, I was definitely somebody who thought I was nobody, would never do any good, would never do anything in life, would always just be hopeless and pathetic. And, I don't know what the outcome of this conference is going to be. And that's not for me to know right now. But it was like, do you know what? Part of what I've seen is we've all got way, way, way more to us than we think we have. And just kind of having this conversation, having someone as beautiful and as amazing as you say, yes, I'll come and speak. I come and speak at your conference is kind of like, wow, look what we can create when we get into this place of clarity. Who knows? And if one person has a better life because they see something in this, then the conference to me has been a success. So yeah, it's brilliant.
That's beautiful. And I must just say, I've been having amazing conversations with the two people that I'm presenting with. So I am so excited. It's almost like, oh, could we just record this now and we'll just play that live and we'll be back. So I cannot wait to go live when we're actually at the conference. And I must say, Debs, as soon as I got that, even though the interesting thing is when I read when the time was going to be, my first thought was like, oh gosh, no, I get back from the retreat in India and then it's like I get back on the Tuesday and on the Thursday I'd have to travel down. Thought, oh, I don't know. But this overwhelming feeling was saying, yes, go. So I answered, yes, I'd love to speak at your conference. And then I looked again and it was the week after the conferences. So it just showed me that my thinking would have talked me out of it, but the feeling was so strong. It was like, well, I'm going to trust I'll be okay. Because I know that this feeling has no agenda, it has no place to get to, apart from be with me fully, wholly in that moment, giving me that grace and that ease. And that taught me something. And I went back, it's like, okay, I've let it go now. I've said yes, that I'll be happy to speak. And then I re-look, and it's actually the week after. So I have like 9-10 days where I thought 2 or 3. So I thought, there you go. If that's the only thing I can talk about, I have something to talk about.
This is it, and that's just what we're doing, really, isn't it? We're just kind of like, this looks like a really good idea to us, so we're just going with the feeling of invite some amazing people, get together, and see what we can create, and see what unfolds from there. So that's been amazing, Steve. Thank you very, very, very much, and really, really, really just can't wait to be there with you. So and thank you for what unfolded this morning.
Thank you for your perseverance.
Patience and perseverance.
For being our guinea pig while we worked out how to make Facebook Live.
To be of service.
So take care. We'll end it there for now, and hopefully people are really excited to come to our conference and see Steve a little bit more in action up on the big stage there. So that's absolutely fabulous. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Steve.